Health today. We're talking about headaches, specifically migraine headaches.
Dr. Brian Grossberg is the director of Hartford Healthcare Headache Center. He's joining us alongside Carolyn Nielsen, who suffers from migraines. Welcome to the both of you. First, Carolyn, I want to start with you because people always say, "Oh, I've got a migraine. I've got a migraine." A migraine is a very specific type of headache. What were you experiencing?
I would get numbness on the side of my face.
Wow.
And I would feel like I couldn't see out of one eye.
Okay.
And then I'm out for the count.
Yeah. When you say out for the count, that means that you can no longer function.
Yeah, I can no longer function. Sometimes I can barely drive home. And then I'm in bed, under the covers, ice pack, and sometimes for 2 days. I'm done.
Sometimes for 2 days.
For 2 days.
Wow.
And then an after effect for another day.
Okay.
So, doctor, when people say, "Oh, isn't a migraine just a headache?" I mean, what exactly is a migraine, and how do people know that it's something they really need help with?
Sure. So migraine is a neurological condition, and it affects more than 36 million people in the United States. Women are affected 3 times more often than men. So it's not just a headache. There are a lot of different symptoms that occur with a migraine. People can end up being more sensitive to light, sounds or noises, sometimes nausea. And some of the symptoms that Carolyn was describing is an aura, right? So about a quarter of people with migraine will have an aura. Most of it is a visual. Usually it's a visual aura where people can see spots or specks or wavy lines.
Okay, I've heard
but sometimes they can have numbness, which is what she was describing. And sometimes even after the pain of the migraine is gone, people are not back to themselves. They can feel kind of hungover, fatigued, or tired, and that can still occur for hours or up to a day.
Is there a specific part of the brain that is being affected? I'm holding the brain right here in my hand. You gave me this wonderful prop to use. Is there a specific part of the brain that's being affected?
So actually, there are multiple areas. Can I show you?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, excellent.
Here's your brain.
Which one would you like?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
I'll take this one. So if I look here, right? So there are multiple areas of the brain that are affected in migraine. The brain itself, this is just a half of the brain, so people can end up seeing it. The brain itself, touching it, is not painful.
Okay.
But there's coverings that occur around the brain, and there are blood vessels in the coverings and within the brain itself that have pain-sensitive nerve endings, and pain information is carried along a nerve into an area of the brain called the brainstem down here. From there, that pain-sensitive information is carried up to a sensory processing area here, and then out to other areas of the brain. So there are multiple areas that are involved. While this is occurring, there are changes that occur in the caliber, the size of the blood vessels, so there's dilation or expanding of blood vessels, and the release of chemicals that cause inflammation in the brain as well. So there's a cascade of events. It's not just one particular area of the brain. So once again, that's what's occurring during migraine.
So the center here, I know from visiting it, it's drawing people from all over because you guys are doing some really unique things, so people like you don't have to suffer as long. And talk about, like, some of it might actually be lifestyle. You have to look at everything. You found out you couldn't do the same workouts on the weekend because it was a trigger for you.
Downsized my workouts. Yeah, I can't. They're not as intense. A lot of down and ups I have to change, and it has worked. You know, I can function.
You can function.
I can function in my treatments.
Please. Speaking to what Carolyn's talking about is the approach that we do that's different is a multidisciplinary approach. In English, I don't want to use big words. In English, it's looking at the whole person, right? Maximizing non-medication, medication approaches to help the person, because each person with migraine has a very different profile. It's not a cookie-cutter approach. So it's really a tailored treatment, and it's looking at non-medication things like diet, hydration, sleep, stress. We all have stress. The question is how does it physiologically affect us? A person's mood, and then triggers, one of which may be very vigorous exercise. And not everybody has triggers. And some people have multiple triggers. So the triggers are not the cause of the headache, but can help bring it on in somebody who's biologically predisposed
to have migraine. But this center is certainly helping people.
We have people coming from all over the region, statewide, nationally, and internationally. So we have people coming as far away as South America and Europe.
Which is really remarkable.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably modest, but you came here to open up this center, and this is really your specialty. So some of the stuff that you're doing right here in Connecticut isn't being done other places.
That's correct. I'm an academic, so what we're doing is not only doing patient care, but we're also advancing the field of headache medicine. So we're training future leaders in the field of headache and expanding the program pretty much across the entire footprint of the healthcare system in Connecticut.
Well, that's great. We're just so happy that you're feeling better.
Yeah.
We're so happy that you're with us.
Thank you so much.
It's great. great to see the both of you.
Thank you
So
very
great,
much.
you got some solutions. That's wonderful.
Absolutely, isn't that great? All right, if you're looking for help for migraines, check out the Hartford Healthcare Headache Center. The phone number is
1-855-HHC. It's right there on your screen. HHC here. 1-855-HHC here. We have a link to the Headache Center on our website. It's betterct.com.
remarkable, right? Good, God bless.
Yeah. Still to come, banking comes to a high school campus.
All right, we're going to be taking you to a local high school where a branch just opened, so stay with us.